It wouldn't be a Thrash Panda Pawns video without me opening with a cough. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Welcome to the special edition Father's Day live chat. Please let me know how the sound and picture are doing. It's giving me some weird message, which I don't care about. There we go. So hopefully that takes care of that. And my armies of friends and followers will start showing up. Most of you are probably at RNG's show, and I can't blame you. I was there myself, actually. But for those of you who are joining me at 7:30, I couldn't possibly bring myself to be late. And how's everyone's weekend, folks? Absolutely beautiful weather up here on Cape Cod, people. But it's going to get hot, real hot. I was just checking the weather, and tomorrow's not going to be too bad. But starting Tuesday, it's going to be well into the 90s and relative humidity of close to 100%. And Lance Chafin is here, and he says, "Hey, Thrash, happy Father's Day, Thrash." Lance, thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and welcome to the live chat. As always, it's so always good to see you. Now, of course, today's uh trivia is also going to be wrong pile. Today's trivia is also going to be on famous TV dads. And I'm going to risk everything and just this camera is well, I guess it was okay. It was bothering me before. It looked like the centering was off, but I'm a perfectionist. Wajimeen is here and says, "Hello, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you too, Wajimeen. So glad you could join us." And it's really just looks like just the three of us at the moment. Oh, there's four. There's somebody lurking in the shadows. Who could it be? But anyway, don't forget to hit the like button. We have three people in the chat and 2 likes. We can do better than that, people. That's a mere 50%. But so other than that, how's everyone doing today? Again, I was gonna do so much around the house today, and I just didn't. I gave myself the holiday. I did do a few things, but nothing particularly as of late. Yeah, what do you mean? Who could it be? Now, I saw those guys live at the Cape Cod Coliseum. It would have been 83, 84, I want to say. And me and my buddy, well, we waited outside hoping that we could like talk to them after the show. Uh, like a little exclusive, and we didn't realize about 400 people all had the same idea. So when they did escort them to the bus, they just kind of waved at us really quick as they got onto the bus and just bolted. But yeah, there was no fan moment with the men at work, although they put on a great show. That was for sure. Lynn says, Thresh, check out Kung Fu Yoga with Jackie Chan. Okay, I will. I will. And let's see what else we got. Actually, so far, nothing. Although we do have 4 likes. We have 4 likes for the 4 people in the chat. The 2 of you who are making comments, and the 2 who are lurking late, as the Gwendolyn Brooks poem goes, or lurking in the shadows, I should say. Not too much going around. I know. I promised you guys content last week, and I was unable to provide, and I have absolutely no excuse. It was granddaughter's last week of school, and had a bunch of other little things running around to take care of, and I have no excuse. I know that's no excuse. Lynn said there's a dance scene at the end. Oh, too cool. Darrell Johnson's here. He says, Bob. Darrell, so good to see you. And he's about says, I think Someone's Watching Me by Rockwell would have been a better choice. Um, Probably. Yeah, probably. I wish I'd thought of that. You know who sings background vocals on that song? His, at that time, possibly still, brother in law, Michael Jackson. But I like that song too. And let's see what else we got going on. A lot of people having fellowship. Turtle Eugene Bellinger's here says Happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth, Thrash. Happy Juneteenth to you as well. And of course, Happy Father's Day yet again. Oh, Indy, again, question for you. Remember we were talking about Blue Oyster Cult and some of the songs they wrote for the heavy metal soundtrack. I have this. I think I might be confusing two different stories, but Soul Survivor was Soul Survivor written with the idea that they put on the heavy metal soundtrack because it wasn't in the actual heavy metal movie. But I could have sworn, I read it and I just thought of this. I don't even know what made me think of it, but I thought of this the other day. There was a story in heavy metal about a generational ship and a colony ship, and it has like one terrible disaster after another, and finally the captain goes to give up because there's nothing left to continue with because the rest of the uh, colonists are no longer alive, but he himself cannot die. For some reason, the sole survivor, there's something that requires him to cling to life. And it's a remarkably similar story to Soul Survivor. So, was it at least inspired by a heavy metal short story? If there's one person in this chat, it would be you who would know that. Horrific Nightmares JM says, hello, everyone. Horrific Nightmares, welcome to the party. It is so good to see you. So far tonight, we're just having a little special edition Father's Day live chat. Happy Father's Day to you if it applies. And welcome. And Tab says Jeopardy answer. Michael Gross played Patriarch Stephen Keaton for 7 seasons of this beloved 80s sitcom, Growing Pains. Did I say growing? I'll bite my tongue. But well, I got it wrong. But the actual answer, of course, is Family Ties. I knew that. I just had a wire crust in my head. I'm still thinking about Heavy Metal Magazine. BK on the. Oh my God, Barry is here. Barry, happy Father's Day, Barry. It is so good to see you. Everybody, check out Barry. He, of course, is from BK on the Air, and of course, and we've got to do another collaboration very, 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 very soon. And welcome. Indy says, as far as I know, it was. Oh, well, good. And Daryl John says, please hit the like. Yes, what he said. And subscribe, please, please. Watchman says, almost 400 subs, Thresh. Yes, I've almost mashed the Third Reich. Laugh maniacally. 397 by my last check. So please, if anybody's around who hasn't subscribed, please, 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 please subscribe. I'm just gonna call you JM for the purposes of the chat. Rolls off the tongue better. Thank you so much. It applies. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Very kind of you. Tracy Roth Myers is here. Says Happy Father's Day, Robert. Happy Father's Day to you too, Tracy, by the way. And I love that photo that you put on Facebook with you and your dad, by the way. Reminds me of Jim Croce. Your dad, not you. And and Daryl says, of course, to subscribe as well. Len says we need another Retropalooza. There are talks, man. There are talks. And Tracy says, happy Father's Day to everyone. I'm actually having not too much trouble keeping up with you guys. I think a lot of people still interrupted Nerd Girl. Her 8th anniversary. Her 8th anniversary live chat. You go RNG. So again, I have tonight's trivia is going to be on iconic TV dads. But what are your favorite dads from TV? Or anything in pop culture. But TV's probably the best. But movies, that type of thing, let me know. And a message retracted to you too, Tracy. And you know, it's funny when I was compiling information. It's amazing. It's amazing just how many great TV dads there were. Oh, Al Bundy. He actually came up a lot, believe it or not. Yeah, but he actually came up a lot. And of course, ironically, He went from playing the anti-American dad in Married with Children to playing one of the most beloved patriarchs on TV now in Modern Family. And I got to tell you, if with some notable exceptions, with some notable exceptions, um, I can't remember the name of the show, but in Modern Family, Ed O'Neill's character reminds me so much of my father. It's like odd. Just some of the things he says. Just really, I'm like, that is so something my father would say. Jam says Al Bundy was great. He certainly was. Tracy says, I am okay. Thanks. How are you doing, Lance? Lance says, Thresh, how are you doing? So far, so good. So far, so good. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys. We had some work done in the house. Long story short, we had the window back here was busted. Well, the window was fine. It was just the tracks were busted, so you couldn't really open and close the screen door. We had that done. We also found out our bay window was actually rotting. We had to have it replaced. We were very, 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 very concerned that there might be structural damage. There was none whatsoever. They were able to pop the bay window up, put a new one in. No harm, no foul. With quite a few buckaroos, but at least it was a painless project, one could say. Tracy says, I am okay, thanks. Oh, I already read that one, by the way. Tracy, could you do me a favor? Could you drop links for Wajimeen, for BK on the air, and what the heck? Drop a link for yourself, too, please, by the way. It would be appreciated. Tab says, Jeopardy answer, Will Gear started as Zeb Walton, the patriarch of the close-knit Virginia family in the Great Depression, for the first 6 seasons of this beloved wholesome 70s drama series, The Waltons. That was one of those shows that actually made me nostalgic in the first place. That's really nostalgic. Nostalgic of pre-war America. You're getting nostalgic about things you weren't even around for. Wajimeen says Al Bundy kind of reminds me of my dad. Lynn says, good night, John Boy. Yeah, everyone got the Waltons, yeah. Indy says the Waltons is an anagram of talent show. That's crazy. That's it. Oh, hey, Big Guys 25 is here. Says, hope everyone is doing well today. Happy Father's Day again to everybody over here. Much is always appreciated right around over here. Big Guys, thank you so much for joining us, by the way. Love the stuff you've been putting out on your YouTube channel. Got some great 45s. Love them all. Everybody say hi, Mrs. Thrash. Hi, Mrs. Thrash. She just woke up from a nap. She's like, yeah. Lisa Fields here says, hi, Thrash. Hi, everybody. Happy Father's Day. To all the dads, thank you very much. And on behalf of everyone else, thank you as well. And Jim's camera, Dawn, is here. Says, greetings, everyone. Greetings, Jim, and happy Father's Day to you as well. Tracy says, I would love to, but I need to learn how to drop links. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I thought you had mastered that. No worries. James says, Michael Landon from Little House on the Prairie. Yeah. He was an amazing TV dad, now that you mention it. And we lost him way, way, way too soon. And I love the anecdote. You know what he did after they were done shooting on Little House? He blew the sign up. He got some dynamite from a construction site and kablooey. Because says, working on my mental health recently. Wish you all the luck in the world with that, Big Guys 45s. And thank you for joining us today. Jim says, happy Father's Day, and to you as well. Oh, look who's here. Sister Sarah says, hi, everyone. Sister Sarah, hi to you, by the way. Would you mind dropping us some links? Not just for your channel, of course, but for Wajimeen and BK on the air. Oh, and Tracy, too, by the way. She has a channel as well, of course. Cindy D's here, says hello. And hello to you, too, Cindy D. Sarah says, happy Father's Day. And again, Sarah, happy Heavenly Father's Day to your father. He raised a wonderful daughter. Tab says, Jeopardy answer. This legendary actor played 2 iconic sitcom dad roles. Al Bundy on Married with Children and Jay Pritchett on Modern Family. Ed O'Neill, thank you. Jay Pritchett Jay Pritchett is the person. I watched the show, but I forgot the cast name. I used to watch it late night. I was having sleep. What do you mean says, wishing you the best, Big. All that very kind of you. And Big Guy says, I'm much more active on my TikTok account called Music Trivia Daily. Everybody remember that on TikTok. Than I am here on YouTube anymore, LOL. But it's definitely always nice to see you all over here. It's nice to see you as well. And look out, who's here. Scott, Harold the Hatter's here. Says, hey, everyone, my Father's Day gift is cleaning out all of my girls' old clothes that I've hoarded all these years. LOL, wife wants the closet back. Good for you. Lisa says, I'm watching The Boy Who Cried Werewolf from the 70s. I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that. Big Guy says, I have autism, if you didn't all know that already. Well, we all champion your overcoming of said obstacle. And Sarah says, thank you. You're quite welcome. And Sarah says, I just got home. BRB, hopefully. Definitely, hopefully. And JM says, I liked The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. I'm sure I've seen it. And Scott says, hey, look at me. I'm Cindy D. Look at me. I'm Cindy D. And My Flux says, happy almost 400 subscribers. I know, this close. I'm at 397. I'm this close. We'll make it. And yep. Oh, and Jim also says almost 400. Half a league on. Bravely and boldly rode the 400. And Teb says Jeopardy answered this. Dallas Star went on to play Frank Lambert, the Mike Brady type father of three in the TGIF fave step by step. Patrick Duffy. I knew it, Patrick Duffy. And Lynn says, hit that subscribe button as well. Y'all, what he says. And Daryl says, please hit the like and subscribe button. What he said. And Cindy's saying hello to Lance. And wow, it's remarkably simple to keep up with you guys tonight. We'll see how long that lasts. And Sarah says a whole bunch of emojis and hit the thumbs up and share and comment on the show, please. And Big Guy says, I'll keep in touch. Please do. Please do. We usually do it. We don't see you every single week, but we see you generally regularly. But hey, if you want to be here every week, you know where to find me. And Tracy says, hi to everyone I missed out on saying hi to. I do that too. I'm always afraid I'm going to miss somebody and hurt their feelings. You know, sometimes I'll watch the comments like a hawk when I'm on it. Like today on Retro Nerd Girl, I was watching the comments to make sure I said hi to everybody that I knew. Sometimes I even say hi to people I don't know. It's just my naive charm. And Jim says, Sarah, 100%. And Sarah says hi to Jim. And Lynn is like, Sarah, you can finally forgive me. Thank you. And Jim's like high-fiving Sarah. And this is what I love. You guys all seem to know each other and have fellowship. And that's one of the best parts of the show. Of all the TV fathers, and I don't want to bring this down a peg, but it's occurred to me, a lot of the great TV fathers we've lost, which one do you think is the heaviest casualty? Which one makes you the saddest? But let's see what we got going on here. Scott says, hey, Wedge. Oh, yeah, he's just saying hello to everybody. And yes. A lot of highs and lows on this channel, but I'm bummed. Oh, Crapshoot Creations is here. He says, big high five to the live. I made it number 9. Crapshoot Creations, I'm so glad you could make it. Guys, if you haven't checked out Crapshoot Creations, you've got to. He's been putting out some amazing stuff. He does this like tie-dye crafts fair type of stuff, and he makes some of the coolest t-shirts out there in the whole tie-dye circles. Check it out, by the way. He's got some amazing stuff. And James says, Alan Thicke. That was a heavy casualty. Oh, I know. From Growing Pains, of course. Yeah. He was on Married with Children 2 on at least one occasion. The quasi spin-off they did called enemies. And Indy says, "Do you mean the character dying or the actor who played him?" We'll stick with the actors for right now, but that's another great follow-up question. What TV characters passing did you find really upsetting? I know my answer right out the gate, but there's plenty of others as well. And Teb says, Jeopardy answer. Before becoming Philip Drummond on Different Strokes, Conrad Main played Dr. Arthur Hammond on This Beloved Norman Lear gem that was spun off of All in the Family. Maud, yes, he was Maud's husband Frank? He was Maud's husband's best friend. And let's just see what. Yeah, and Cindy also guessed Maud. Scott says my favorite. My family subscribed. My oldest Chatterbox kitten is your 400. Oh, I have a kitten, a 400th kitten. Thank you, kitten, for the 400th subscribe. Crapshoot Creation says much appreciated. Kind words, 100%. Well, you certainly deserve all of them. In fact, if we could give Crapshoot Creations a link, that too would be much appreciated. And Wajabin says Different Strokes. No, he was the father of Different Strokes. He was on Mod before that. Crapshoot says there is trivia tonight. There certainly is, and it's actually on TV Dads. Lance says congratulations on the 400th thrash. Yay. Thank you very, very much. No, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Lance, thank you for the congrats. And Scott, there will always be a place in my heart. Well, there always was a place for you in my heart, but there will now be an additional place for you in my heart that you gave me the 400th subscribe. And thank the kitten, by the way. That was really, really, really cool. You guys are awesome. You all saw it here. Scott from Harold the Hatter. Oh, by the way, give Harold the Hatter a link as well, please. Pretty please, sugar on top. Was the one who got thrashed to 400. Gary Carpenter's here. He says, hi there, everyone. I'm back. I'm late. I'm having trouble with my connection to the internet. More sympathetic I could not be. I'm very glad you made it. And Teb says, John Ritter was great. As the dad on 8 Simple Rules, sad he died so tragically while filming season 2. I know. That was so sad. That was just John Doe is here. He says the answer is Spock. Was Spock a TV dad? Well, the judges have to rule on that later. Sister Sarah says Pawns, sweet. No, you're sweet, Sarah. And Cindy says you are welcome, Lance Chafin. Oh, look who's here! The Nostalgic Pod Blast. Chance is here. He says Happy Father's Day. Happy Farters Day. I mean Father's Day. Well played, Chance. So good to have you with us, by the way. And if you guys haven't gone to Chance's channel, please do. Link, please. But he's been doing some absolutely amazing, amazing stuff. He goes on to say, prayers for those who lost their fathers to heaven, like my flock is everywhere. What he said, definitely, definitely. Cindy says, hello to Pod Blast. Were you really... Oh, you jumped. Joking, LOL. I'm sure he was. Just gonna skim down. Gary says, Pod Blast, I lost my dad 7 years ago. Gary, commiserations, lad. My dad is still with us. I talked to him this morning. He's living in Raleigh. Has lived there for 30, almost 40 years now. And Teb says, I'm sorry, Thrash. I can't stay here for the trivia tonight. I would have loved to do that, but I've got some other things to take care of. Teb, no, you were here all the time. You were one of the best contributors. You always bring like these great nuggets of trivia yourself. You do you. Have a wonderful Father's Day. Have a wonderful Juneteenth, and do us a favor. If you want to play in replay and put your answers in the comments below, that's great. And I will see you next week, God willing. And he says, if Gimper was Mormon, his wives and kids could have gotten you to 500. That's a very, very good point there. A lot of people saying goodbye to Lance. Oh, Mike and Kathy are here. Says, is there a Grandfather's Day? There should be. I will lobby for it. And Tracy says, my dad is gone. Again, commiserations. Emily says, okay, everyone, calm down. I'm here now. We were so terribly, terribly worried. And oh, Emily, the stuff you're putting on Facebook, by the way, is absolutely priceless. Absolutely priceless. I got to tell you, thank you for that. Very, very funny. And Cindy lost her dad in 14. Very, very sorry. And John Doe says, when are we getting a quest for the lost city of gold? When I find the map. Otherwise, we're just gonna be randomly looking across the world. Vladimir lost his dad in 2008. Oh man, I am sorry. And Pablo says, I must be so rough when your dad is in heaven. I would imagine it would be. Oh, Sean Ennis is here. Says hello, all. Sorry for being a little late. Sean, you're always right on time. We haven't started the trivia yet. We will be in a few minutes, but I'm so glad you were able to make it. Thank you. And Emily says, Happy Father's Day to all the daddies here. Warm hugs to all who have lost their dads. Couldn't have said it better myself, Emily. Thank you. And my flux says, Today I left houses first since my dad left. Bittersweet. Well, I'm glad you were able to get out. I'm glad you were able to get out. It'll get better. It'll get better. I promise you. Cindy says to Publist, I miss him. Len says, lost my dad in 2007. R.I.P. Dad. Commiserations, Lance. John Doe says there's a Grandparents' Day on the calendar in the United States of America, but you have to look it up. Well, I'll be sure to do that. And Sean says, at my age, lost dad in 2013, mom in 20. Not due to COVID, thankfully. Indeed, but commiserations across the board. Mike Kathy says, making me work, John Doe. Yes. And Emily says, Chance, since 2018, I've lost my dad, and my kids have all lost theirs. Commiserations to you and they. John Doe says, same for pizza, hot dogs, donuts on the calendar, too. Pizza hot dog. We used to make those at a place I used to work. And Tracy says, Happy Father's Day to all that are here and all who are there. Because that's pretty much your two choices. Doesn't matter where you go, there you are. Everybody say hi to Mrs. Thrash. Hi, Mrs. Thrash. She's like, she's looking for something. She wants me to leave her alone. Oh, hang on. Looking for something. She says no, but she is. But she, she don't want to say it out loud, so it's none of my business. Let's see what's going on. Pablo says, "Well, Sean Innes, that's hard. It certainly is." City says, "One of the best TV dads is still alive. James Emmons Sr. John Amos is still alive," which is ironic because his character died almost 50 years ago, and he is one of the best TV dads, and I think one of the saddest losses of a TV dad on TV. And Scott says, Indy, if I even had to the thought of my wife, the space ninja would end me. But I always overdo it. So if I would, Mormon, I would have gotten Thrash to 10,000 subscribers. That's a lot of wives, bro. And Indy says, we seem to have reached the age where life stops giving us things and starts taking them away. Ain't that the truth? Oh, and Emily says she's good. And Cindy says, my daughter lost her dad a year later in 2015. Very sad. And Gary Cameron says, Cindy, and so is Gomez Adams. And again, I got to tell you, the Adams family, when I was a kid, I loved the Adams family. I wanted to be part of the Adams family. Their dad never got his belt. I couldn't say the same thing about my dad. But at that time, it was considered good parenting. Oh, everybody's saying hello to Mrs. Thrash. She's already moved on. Lynn says, I'm okay, Emily. And Sean says, the Nostalgia Bob Bless, they lived to 84 and 90, respectively. A good run still. It's never easy. And a big adjustment. I can imagine it would be. Oh, look who's here! The Daily Beast says, I liked. Daily Beast, so glad you could make it. Everyone's like, hi to Danny. John Doe says, the National Hot Dog Day is recognized on July 4th with the hot dog eating contest. I can see that. And Tree says, "Hi, Mrs. Ponce." The proper name, although she hyphenated. But I will pass that on. And Jim says, "Danny, howdy, neighbor." And Lynn says, "RNG is still live." Wow, yes, I hated to pull any of you folks from her channel, but I was afraid if I didn't start, people would think I wasn't going live tonight. Danny says, "Greetings from South Carolina." Greetings, Danny. And Danny, please, links for all. Links for you, all your channels, for Sarah, for Pod Blast, for Wajamin, for BK on the air, and for anyone else that I'm missing. CD says, "Definitely Thrash. The crashing of the Pump Bowl by his Florida Evans was one of the memorable ever Punch Bowl." Yeah, I saw the punch, and yes, when she just looks like, damn, bam. Yes, that was one of the saddest scenes in TV history. It seemed really authentic too. It seemed very, very authentic. And Sarah says, "Happy Father's Day, Dan. How are you and your 8,000 kids doing?" All kidding aside, happy Father's Day, Dan. And John Doe says, "It's a tie. I can't choose between Adam's family and the Munsters." Okay, here's how I'll answer that. Herman was more lovable, but Herman was like a big kid. Mr. Gomez, Adams actually felt like a head of a household. You know what I'm saying? He felt more like a dad. Herman would be more like a big brother or an oversized little brother. Loved Herman Munster. I think I probably loved the Munsters better than the Adams Family as far as shows go. But I've had to pick which one would be a better TV dad. I'm going to narrowly give it to Gomez Adams for the reasons stated. Oh, and Danny has company. Danny, I understand Sunday's become like a family day for you, by the way. More than understand my brother. Jim's like 8,000. Emily says, "Lost my dad in 2018. My youngest kids lost theirs in 2019. My oldest lost hers in 2021. My second daughter lost hers last year." Bad luck for your kids' dads. Gary Company says, "John, I can. It's Adam's family." Okay, so Gary concurs with Team Thrash. David's here. Oh my God, David says, "Happy Father's Day." David, so glad you could make it. Welcome to the party. And Emily Mel says, "My kids were at the times of their death 19, 26, 37, and 36. I was going to say, your oldest is in their 40s now, aren't they? I've lost track, but I remember we did a timetable once a couple years ago. Mike Silva says, "Star." Oh, Slarty Bartfast. Slarty Bartfast, which is from Here's the of the Galaxy. "I'd much rather be happy than right any day, Arthur Dent. And are you, Slutty Bartfast?" No, that's where it all breaks down, of course. Oh, Michael's Drones is here. RC's and Knives. Hello, Thrashbondo. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Happy Father's Day. So glad you could make it. CD says, "Gomez Adams so smart, like a whip." Well, he was a retired lawyer. In the canon of the show, he was actually a lawyer. Um, and again, Herman absolutely loved him to death, but he was kind of a big doofus. Mike and Kathy says, "My dad was the Leave It to Beaver dad." Oh, that's cool. Um, Mine was the "Come over here." Or I bet you "Get my belt and come over here." And I'm like, "Oh, so I have to get the belt for you now?" I would have never, ever, ever said that to the man. I still wouldn't. Emily says, "I lost track too, Thrash." And she says, "It's been a wild ride, that's for sure." And a lot of people seconding Adams. Mike Silver, and again, hello, Mike Silver, for joining us. Family Ties classic comedy series, it certainly was. Sean says, "Nothing has jumped off the page. Pretty young. I hope they manage to as best as possible." Yes, me too. Tree says, "Well, one thing I said I would never do again, and have not made a list of how many people in my life have passed after I wrote that list. So somebody else died the next day. Commiserations." Mike Silva says, Ponds, my family and I went to a good barbecue restaurant in Massachusetts. Well, which one? Because the one I'm thinking of is actually Wes's Barbecue, but that's in Rhode Island. And I heard they closed it, which is very sad. Lisa Field says, I'm back. Son called me. Oh, he calls mom on Father's Day. That's very, very nice. Mike Silva says, your crappy effects are against me. MST3K joke. Lisa goes on to say, message retracted. And Emily says, Sean, my oldest and my two youngest take it the hardest. My second daughter didn't really have a relationship with her dad, which is unfortunate. And John Doe says, what is better, car between the 66 Batmobile or the Knight Industries 2000 kit for short, Batmobile? Cindy says, my dad was James Evans Sr., hardworking, took care of his family any way that he could. That's very, very nice. And Lynn says, Cindy hated when they killed his character. I know, me too. Dave says, my dad was like Al Bundy, LOL. No, just kidding. He was a good dad. He says, well, as you can think about it, but there's nothing wrong with us. Adams was white collar and Munster was blue collar. Very well way to say it. And someone says, Pawns, my family members is watching Netflix. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, Lynn says, Kit, hands down. No wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. And Emily says, my dad was Archie Bunker, up one side and down the other. Oh, and I can certainly visualize that. Now, as I'm caught up, and it's just past 8. Oh, Shauna, this is Emily. I have one son. Unfortunately, we are somewhat estranged of late due to parental alterations, alienation rather. BS on the part of the evil ex. I still haven't heard from him regarding today. Oh, I'm very, very sorry. I am so, so sorry. And John Doe says, truth be told, my dad was an empty chair. Oh, I'm sorry. Very sorry. And Kathy says, I owned a Starsky and Hutch car in the 70s. Oh, I love that plastic car. And Gary says, my favorite TV dad was Darren Stevens, Gomez Adams, Captain Stubing, and Fred Stanford. And Lucy says, my dad was a hardworking and quiet, but also played baseball. As Mike says, my dad was the Terminator. Gary Garber says, my favorite TV dads are Darren Stevens, Gomez Adams, Captain Stubing, and Fred Sanford. And Len says, but Penny was not a bad Cindy. And Len says, Sean, you might just have to wait until he's an adult to reach out to him. Then I hate that you are going through this. Definitely, definitely. Very, very sad. Commiserations, Sean. Commiserations. And Mike says trivia game. So on that note, I'm going to start tonight's trivia game. And again, it's on TV Dad, but it's well, you'll see as we go. It's like I picked the TV Dad, but then maybe something else that he may have also been in to make it a fair trivia game. And as always, I'm going to give them to you in no particular order. Number 10. Before becoming Mayberry's favorite dad, Andy Griffith appeared in what famous military themed comedy? Was it A, Operation Petticoat, B, Buck Privates, C, No Time for Sergeants, or D, The Last Time I Saw Archie? Oh, Lobos Gris is here. Lobos Gris is thrash. Lobos Gris, so glad you can see you. Que pasa? Feliz Dia de Padres? Pardon, español es mi malo. Happy Father's Day is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let me repeat. Oh, and Mr. Led is here. Mr. Led, also happy Father's Day to you as well. So great to see you, my son. And let me just see. I think I might have missed somebody else. No, I said hello, everyone, but I'm going to repeat the question, even though everyone seems to have gotten it. Before becoming Memory's favorite dad, Andy Griffith appeared in what famous military themed comedy? A, Operation Petticoat, B, Buck Privates, C, No Time for Sergeants, or D, The Last Time I Saw Archie. And Sean says, Emily Miller, he is 21 now. I haven't seen him since last August, and he is no more than an hour away at college. And it's not my idea at all. I still have his Christmas and birthday presents here. Oh, that is very sad, Sean. That is very sad. I'm very, very sorry. But the correct answer is yes, C, No Time for Sergeants. Moving on, to number 9. In addition to his legendary father role on Good Times, John Amos appeared in this Norman Lear production. Was it A, All in the Family, B, The Jeffersons, C, Maud, or D, All That Glitters? I shall repeat. In addition to his legendary TV father role on Good Times, John Amos appeared in this Norman Lear production. Was it A, All in the Family, B, The Jeffersons, C, Maud, or D, All That Glitters? Mr. Wood says, hello, all. I am watching Archie Bunker at the same time. Oh, that's actually very cool. That's cool squared. How John Doe says, waiting for Harvey's Festival of Fear. Emily got it. Emily got it. No, wait, he was on Maud. Yes. Yes. He was Florida's husband. And apparently, and I actually don't remember these episodes. When I was going through his IMDb, he did 3 episodes of Maud, I guess right before the spinoff. But yes, John Amos was on Maud because originally Florida was Maud's maid, which made absolutely no sense because Maud, of course, was set in New York and Good Times was filmed in the projects in Chicago. So that would have made for one hell of a commute. And thank you for the links, Sister Sarah. Sean says to Cindy D, thanks. I'm trying. He also hasn't visited me at my home since September 19th. Can't blame that entirely on COVID. No, you really can't. But anyway, moving on to question 8. Iconic TV dad Fred MacMurray played a rare bad guy role in this romantic dramedy. Was it A, The Apartment, B, Breakfast at Tiffany's, C, Sabrina, or D, Lolita? I shall repeat. Iconic TV dad Fred MacMurray played a rare bad guy role in this romantic dramedy. Was it A, The Apartment, B, Breakfast at Tiffany's, C, Sabrina, or D, Lolita? Mr. Lynn says, looking forward to you and Pat together. Thresh, I am so glad you mentioned that. Actually, yes, I just did a Pod Blast podcast, Podmast, with Pat. We recorded at the very end of last week. It probably won't be out this week, probably out at the beginning of next week. But yes, watch for me on the Golden Rage of TV. David says E. Flubbergasses. And Lobos Chris says, howdy to Jim. John Doe says, what is better, the helicopter from Blue Thunder or Airwolf? Airwolf. But there's no wrong answer. And he says, they went to Chicago for his work, I believe. That might have been in the pilot, but if you watch the show, the Good Times, they reference the fact how they've been there substantially. Like the kids kind of grew up there. But you're right. That may have been in the pilot. That may have been what they went with. But and anyway, question 8 is A, The Apartment. Number 7, famous TV dad Hugh Beaumont had a supporting role in this weird sci-fi flick. Was it A, Clockwork Orange, B, Lost Continent, 1968, C, Lost Continent, 1951, or D, The Black Scorpion? And if you watch my channel content page, you probably will get this one. But, forgive me, I'm getting really stuffed up. It had dried out on Cape Cod, but then a couple days ago it rained again, so I think we're getting another pollen bloom. But anyway, enough of my headaches, literally. Question repeat. Famous TV dad Hugh Beaumont had a supporting role in this weird sci-fi flick? Was it A, A Clockwork Orange, B, The Lost Continent, C, Lost Continent 1968, C, Lost Continent 1951, or D, The Black Scorpion? Emily Miller says, I'm stumped. You see, Emily, this is why you're supposed to watch my content page. And Cindy D says, message retracted. And a message retracted to you as well. Lucy Field says, Sean, hopefully it will get better. Yeah, definitely, Sean. Definitely hope it gets better. And John Doe says, what is better, the car from original Ghostbusters or from the real Ghostbusters? Original. And Dave says, 7 green. Ick. And Indy says, personally, I would have gone with mole people for this one. Well, that leads me to get where I'll give the answer. It was Lost Continent in 1951. And I love the fact that I could use the Lost Continent for 2 options. But the response is C, Lost Continent 1951. You got to get Lost Continent 1951 had a really amazing cast. Whit Bissell, Cesar Romero, Hugh Beaumont, John Hoyt. It's like a love letter to vintage science fiction. And I'm moving on to number 6, and then we shall get scores. Okay, this one's a toughie. But I knew it. So we'll see where we'll see. Robert Reed had a rare horror role in this anthology Fearfest. Was it A, Journey into the Unknown, B, Trilogy of Terror, C, The House That Dripped Blood, or D, Night Gallery? I shall repeat. Robert Reed had a rare horror role in this anthology Fearfest. Was it A, Journey into the Unknown, B, Trilogy of Terror, C, The House That Dripped Blood, or D, Night Gallery? Oh, and Mr. Lett, I thought of you earlier today, by the way. You remember you suggested Timothy to me, and I did a creepy classic on it? On Facebook, it was this channel. It does funny posts that are based on misprints, and it was that thing they say when you go into the woods, take only pictures, leave only footprints, and it's supposed to say kill only time, but they left the E out, so it said kill only Tim. And I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. And I go, is that where the origin of Timothy came from? Sean says, Lisa Fields, yeah, I've built in some patience during the late teen years because, well, teens, but the really wasn't it. My ex is unbelievably manipulative and petty. And again, commiserations. And Mr. Lynn says, I feel you thrash. My wife is in agony from the pollen. It's not quite that bad, but it's getting there. And Emily Miller says, Lisa, I do better with lives out short video snippets. I can understand that. But and it will be tough to go back and watch all my content. Emily, the fact that you just come into my live chats is all you need to do. I was really just giving you a little tease there. Please continue to come to the live chats. You are always welcome, as is everyone else. We're having a great crowd tonight. Great crowd. And John Doe says, the bird with the crystal plumage. And David says, 6, Brady of Heck. And did I repeat the question? What the heck? I'll repeat the question. Robert Reed had a rare horror role in this anthology Fearfest. Was it A, Journey into the Unknown, B, Trilogy of Terror, C, The House of Your Blood, or D, Night Gallery? And anytime people want to give scores, I haven't given the answer yet. It was actually Journey into the Unknown. It was actually a BBC TV series that was they re-edited them and brought some of them to the States as made-for-TV horror movies. And he's in a really good one. It's about this sort of remote neighborhood where the guy who kind of runs things is like narcissist, and he's kind of like incorporated the entire neighborhood into a cult. It's really cool. It's really cool. Oh, and other scores. Emily says, I loved story time. Hasn't wheel. Emily says 3 of 5, and Watch It Bean is 4 for 5, and David is 1. I guess that means he's got 1. Tracy is 3 of 5. Mr. Lynn says, I'm having a hard time concentrating on you, Thrash, because Gloria looks good tonight. More than understand. Lance is 0 of 5. Well, thank you for playing. Just keep at it, young man. Cindy is 4 for 5. Lisa is 4 for 5. Melissa says, hey, Melissa Forrester, welcome to the party. So glad you could make it. She says, hi, Thrash Pondo, and to all, sorry that I'm late. I've been running late all week. More than understand. I'm so glad you made it. Not sure when you got here, but I'm so glad you make it. Welcome to the party. You're just in time for the second half. Mr. Lynn is anyway 3 of 5. John Doe says there should be a prize for winning like popcorn or caramel popcorn or extra cheesy popcorn, something in the popcorn family. And then he says, my post for the read question disappeared. That's weird. Oh, give it again. You had a post for the read question? Please give the post for the read question yet again. Not sure why it disappeared. He says, I was asking if you meant Journey into Darkness. So, if so, 5 for 5. Yes. In fact, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm going to get these backwards, Indian. I'm very sorry. I guess in England it was known as one. Like, for example, let's for the benefit of argument, I think in England it was known as Journey into the Unknown. But when it was released into America, it was known as Journey into Darkness. So, yes, give yourself the point, and you are 5 for 5. I must have gotten the backwards. As you know, I only do cursory research. And Chundo says, did someone say yogurt? You did. And Miss Lynn says, Timothy, where on earth did you go? Only the shadow knows. I was actually very proud of that one. I was actually very proud of that work, and I want to thank you, Mr. Lynn, for your inspiration. Emily says, I do, of course. Ooh, that sounded ominous. Emily, naughty, no biscotti. Emily Foster says, hey, Linz, what do you mean, Emily, Lisa, and at all? And Mr. Lynn said, burp. And Indy Spout says to Mr. Lynn, please tell me that's a song reference by the Boys. And it's Indy Spouts for the win. Yes, in fact, Indy, I'm going to make a long story short. Well, you know my creepy classics, right? The first one I did was on Helen Reddy's Angie Baby. And I asked people to submit other suggestions for other creepy classics. And Mr. Led suggested the song by the Buoys for you ghouls. So I did their Buoys and girls. He suggested Timothy. And boy, or should I say Bowie, did it fit the bill. So you know what? Indy, if you have an interest, check out my creepy classic on Timothy. I hope you will enjoy said same. Andy Spout says Timothy was written by Rupert Holmes. Yes, and you want to hear something really, really creepy? Along with that, now of course he also wrote the Pina Colada song, which, well, it refers to really unsanitary things being done on Cape Cod sand dunes. So when I was a kid growing up, I was like, hear the line of that new song. But the creepiest thing about Rupert Holmes is he wrote that song, Timothy. He named one of his sons Timothy. I'm like, ah. But yes, please check out The Post. The Post with the most. Ken Wilkinson. Christopher Wilkinson is here. Says, good evening, Bob. Christopher, so nice to see you, man. I hope you passed on Happy Father's Day to your dad as well. And I'm so glad you could make it tonight. And Cindy says, message retracted. And Melissa Foster says, hiya, Sean. Yep, not too late. And Cindy says, he wrote the song. I'm going to have to check that one out. But anyway, the second part of the quiz. Question 5. Paragon of TV fatherhood, Robert Young, appeared on this TV medical series in addition to his own. Was it A, General Hospital, B, Dr. Kildare, C, City Hospital, or D, Ben Casey? I shall repeat. Paragon of TV fatherhood, Robert Young, appeared on this TV medical series in addition to his own. Was it A, General Hospital, B, Dr. Kildare, C, City Hospital, or D, Ben Casey? Dave says Judge Judy. Uh, I dream of Jeannie. Actually, Sean, you were right the first time. I'm going to give it to you. Sean says, no, yes. And John Doe says, the song from AC/DC called She's Got the Jack is about a woman with STDs. I honestly did not know that. I honestly did not know that. A lot of people laughing. Sean particularly. David says, Fat Albert. And Mr. Lynn says, these seem tough tonight, Thrash, or is it just me? Um, it's tough if you didn't know the catalog of work. In fact, it was funny because they're about TV dads, but it's about other things they appeared in. So it may have been tougher to me, or tougher to you guys, or tougher to everyone. There was only one I didn't know. There was only one I didn't know, and I was like, that's usually the acid test. But it was such a cool fun fact that I had to add it. Cindy says we are officially old, Lance. The correct answer was Dr. Kildare, B. Number 4. In addition to his own dad show, Denny Thomas was a guest on this famous father TV series. A, Father Knows Best, B, Bachelor Father, C, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, or D, The Dick Van Dyke Show. Many of you might recall the specific episode. I'll give you a hint on that one. It was an amazing episode of the show that most people speak of. I shall repeat. In addition to his own dad show, Denny Thomas was a guest on this famous father TV series. A, Father Knows Best, B, The Bachelor Father, C, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, or D, The Dick Van Dyke Show. John Doe says, you were officially old when you say the words back in the days. Indeed, we are. Scott says, sorry, my mom called me for Father's Day. We'll catch up and replay. Not a problem at all. Indy says, so trivia's tough. If you don't know the answer, that solves that. Well, it would. You see, Mr. Lynn, yes. The walnuts. It was that famous sci-fi episode with all the walnuts. Which wasn't there an anecdote that the walnuts had gone rotten and some of them got sick from them or something like that? I remember hearing something about that a while ago, but yes. Dave says the Stooges. That's good. Number 3. But yes, D. The Dick Van Dyke Show is correct. But number 3, the Jeffersons patriarch Sherman Hemsley performed his "Are You Sitting Down" top 40 song "Eyes in the Dark" on this music review show. Was it A, Solid Gold, B, Soul Train, C, American Bandstand, or D, Dance Fever? This one I didn't know. It was just such an amazing fun fact. I have to use this. I shall repeat it. The Jeffersons patriarch, played by Sherman Hemsley, performed his top 40 song "Eyes in the Dark" on this music review show. Was it A, Solid Gold, B, Soul Train, C, American Bandstand, or D, Dance Fever? Miss Lynn says the scene where Laura slid out of the closet was done in one take. I'm going to have to see it again. David says Nature Trail to Hell. Love it. John Doe says, is the answer Red Dwarf? Why not? And Keith is here, says, okay, I just finished up my moderating duties. Keith, I'm so glad you could make it, and I hope RNG realizes I wanted to stay for that shout out. I found it in very poor taste. I had to leave before she got to me, but I had to set up shop on this post. I didn't want people to think I had forgotten about them. But I'd like to think she said nice things about me. Uh, Indy says Soul Train complete guess. That's what I love about you, Indy. Even your complete guesses are 100% accurate. But I know now I knew he had been on other music shows as well. He was a phenomenal dancer. But he actually at one time he recorded an album. I did not know this. He recorded an album and he actually performed it on Soul Train. I'm like, that is cool squared. So yes, the correct answer is B, Soul Train. David says these boots are made for walking. I want to do. Indy says, "Sweet." I want to do a rendition of "These Boots Are Made for Walking," but do it in a Christopher Walken voice. these boots, these boots, right here, to which I am wearing, will one day be walking in a manner perpendicular to your posterior, as well as other parts of your body. And Emily says, I'm sliding with the ladies and saying A. Oh, siding with the ladies and saying A. Good guess. Good guess, but wrong. He was on Solid Gold. He was on Solid Gold, but he didn't sing on it. And Keith says, I should all good, she said, to come to your channel and hit the dislike and report button. Mm. Just another betrayal in my book. Sydney says disco album. Take your word for it. I am not familiar with the album. I didn't even know he sang until this moment, or to today, I should say. But thank you. Danny says, I just watched the Sherman singing clip. Really? Is it on YouTube? I've got to see it. I haven't seen it. I didn't have a chance today. I've got to see it. And John Doe says, Sherman Hemsley doing a duet with William Shatner. I'd buy that for $1. I would give a week's pay to see William Shatner do a duet with Sherman Helmsley. Danny says, that was disturbing. And he says, that's the best impersonation of Walken with... Oh, that's too funny. David the Disco Duck. I love that song when I was a kid. I love that song when I was a kid. Anyway, no, again, Soul Train. I can't remember now if I even said that or not. Moving on to number 2. Century spanning comedic great Dick Van Dyke played Reverend Brooks in this satirical comedy. Was it A, Wild in the Streets, B, Catch 22, C, Cold Turkey, or D, Joe? And I shall repeat. Oh, Scott says, to John Doe, what would be brilliant? Only being better would be Walken and Shatner duet. Yeah. Oh, that would be brilliant. I shall repeat. Century spanning comedic great Dick Van Dyke played Reverend Brooks in this satirical comedy. Was it A, Wild in the Streets, B, Catch 22, C, Cold Turkey, or D, Joe? David says Piggy in the Brain. I see some answers coming in, so I'm going to give it a minute before I give the game away. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. A phenomenal cast. Phenomenal cast. A few more coming in. Danger Mouse, love it. Thank you for the link, Danny. And no, but Joe's a really good guess. A Little Bit of Murder was the one I almost went with too. It actually is Cold Turkey, and it's about a town. A tobacco corporation bets an entire town a large sum of money that they can't all quit smoking, and the town agrees to it because they need the money, and hilarity ensues. And well, you got to see it. It's got an amazing cast, and Dick Van Dyke has a supporting role as the town pastor. And the number one question for this week, you never thought we'd get here, did you? The number one question is controversial TV father Carol O'Connor was considered for this father figure sitcom role? Was it A, McHale and McHale's Navy, B rather, the skipper on Gilligan's Island, C, Sergeant Bilko and Sergeant Bilko, or D, Colonel Potter and MASH? I'm sorry, Mrs. Thrash is looking in the shadows. I think she wants to make a guess. I'll repeat the question and she can give a thumbs up when she has the right answer. Controversial TV father Carroll O'Connor was considered for this father figure sitcom role. Was it A, McHale in McHale's Navy, B, the skipper in Gilligan's Island, C, Sergeant Bilko in Sergeant Bilko, or D, Colonel Potter in MASH? Dave says mashed potatoes. Dave said he would have. I'm sorry. Danny says he would have made a great Potter. He would have. He would have made an outstanding Colonel Potter. He played officers in many, many war movies. One of my favorites, The Devil's Brigade, um, Kelly's Heroes, among others. And Mrs. Thrash guessed the correct answer. Oh wait, Indy Spouts says he would have made a terrible skipper. He probably would have made a terrible skipper, but B is the right answer. He was considered for the skipper, and Mrs. Thrash got the right answer. He was considered for the skipper on Gilligan's Island. John Doe says, the Care Bear with the deadly Care Bear stare. Scott says, oh my God, Emily's so true. What did Emily say? Skipper. Yes, that's correct. And Mr. Lynn says, O'Connor was a great actor, in my opinion. He certainly was. He certainly was. Mrs. Thrash always loved him. Not personality wise, physically, he looked a great deal like my erstwhile father-in-law. Speaking of Father's Day, yes, we lost Donna's father, Mrs. Thrash's father, many many years ago on my birthday. Actually, on my birthday, ooh, got to be 10, 12 years gone by now. And he bore a striking resemblance to Carroll O'Connor, a little thinner, but he bore a striking resemblance. But yes, Carroll O'Connor did audition for the part. I love how they actually decided to cast Alan Hale Jr. He had actually snuck off the set of the show that he was actually doing at the time, Some Western. He was still actually in his costume, and he got on a bus and drove hours to go to the audition for Gilligan's Island, and he shows up and he's hot and he's dusty, and all of a sudden, um, Gilligan, Bob Denver sees him, and he just goes Skipper, and he jumps into his arm, and just without missing a beat, as if he had planned for Bob Denver to do it, he goes, "Oh, little buddy," and they just went, "That's our Skipper." And history was made. Although Forrest Tucker and he had great chemistry in that Dusty Trail show, which was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. But they were together well as well. Oh, Dave says sorry, Pawns. Thank you, very 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 kind. He was a nice guy. Cindy says my husband loved him in The Heat of the Night. Oh, oh, he was amazing in The Heat of the Night. And Emily says, I think Harold was referring to my cold turkey comment. Oh, what was your cold turkey comment? Emily says, it was all fun and games until the Nick fit hit. That's actually exactly what happens. You're right. And good comment, good comment. And Jenny says, I like placing actors in the out of place roles like Carroll O'Connor as Steve Austin, $6 million man. That would have been hysterical. Oh my God, that would have been great. And Melissa says, I had heard that Rod Steiger was up for the role as well. Of the skipper, I could see that. He would have been great at it. He was mostly movies at the time, but he would have been great at it. And the irony is, Rod Steiger played the police chief in The Heat of the Night in the theatrical film, and Carroll O'Connor played the police chief in the TV series Heat of the Night. Very synchronistic there. And Cindy says, interesting, Melissa Foster. And John Doe says, funny. Just remember today that every 7 seconds someone dies in the world, and every 9 seconds someone is born in the world. Yeah, but the birth rate is dropping fast. But at the moment, it's we're doing okay. Uh, David says, I don't care for turkey too dry. That's why I use gravy. And John Doe says, I did like Dusty's Trail for what it was. They went on to turned into Gilligan's Island. Yes, it was basically Gilligan's Island in the desert. And oh, you know what? Let's get some scores. Let's get some scores. Did I give the last answer? Yes, I did. It was Gilligan's Island B. So yeah, now so everyone feel free to give scores. Dave got L of L. Oh no, he's saying LOL. Oh, Dave got 1 of 1. Oh, Dave got 1 of 10. LOL. Well, that's pretty good too. Scott got 2 of 3 because he was here for late. What you mean is 9 of 10. Very proud of you. Uh, oh, and Mr. Lynn says dark meat, Dave. I always preferred white meat. I don't know. As a kid, I always preferred white meat. Lisa's 8 out of 10. Cindy is 7 for 10. Um, Emily says, "Sheesh, I don't remember now. I think I'm 7 for 10. We're gonna give you 8 for 10, Emily, because you're such a good sport." Mr. Led is 7 for 10, I think. Oh, give yourself an extra point as well because you lost count. We're all friends here. John Doe is 513 of 499. So you're actually plus 14. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. And end of their scores for those of you keeping track at home. Some people don't even keep track anymore. They just have fun with the ends and that's it. And John Doe says, I already got that one. And Melissa's 4 for 5. And Emily says, I'm a team player as long as I'm the only one on the team. I like the old expression, I'm a family of one, and we get along fine. And he says, I got the address on Cloverfield Lane. I never actually saw Cloverfield, but I'm sure it means that things are afoot. And Dave says, I like dark meat more. I'm guessing that's flavor. And Lisa's laughing at Emily in a jovial and camaraderie kind of way, not in a condescending, mean kind of way. And Scott's like, plus 14 in a 10-question quiz is the most amazing thing ever. Ha 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 ha. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Well, folks, my breathing is becoming increasingly labored. And I'm sure um, the thought of listening to me blow my nose for the next 15, 20 minutes is music to your ears. But I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to kind of call it a little bit of an early night tonight because I can't breathe. So I want to thank all of you for joining me tonight. You took time out of your Father's Day to come and see me. I really appreciate that. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day, and I want to wish commiserations to everyone who's lost their father, by the way. It's very, very sad to lose one's dad, or really any relative, really. Um, and he says, thanks for the trivia, Bob. You're very, very, very welcome. He says, Dave just went live on his live membership chat. Oh, my left foot, I think. Mr. Lynn says, well, back to Archie. Good night, all. The last time I saw Archie, oh no, different Archie, different Archie. I remember the last time I mentioned the last time I saw Archie earlier. And Emily says breathing is overrated anyway. And Scott says, Thrash, I feel you. The allergens are absolutely killing me. Commiserations, lad. Mine actually weren't really bad. I think it's because I got the. It's so nice to be able to have the sliding glass window open for ventilation, but the problem is when you ventilate from an outside that is full of pollen, it brings in the pollen. So it's a two-edged sword, and I'm getting the sort of Damocles over my head of allergens and then mixed metaphors aside, I can't breathe. But thank you for your support. And Jim Skimmer says, "Hope you feel better soon." Oh, it'll pass. It'll pass. We one more good rain, it'll wash it all away. This rain just made it bloom. That's the irony. Rain makes the pollen bloom, and then rain washes it away. And Keithy said, "Oh, I read that one. I've had a pretty good chance keeping up with you guys tonight." Sean says, "Happy Father's Day to all." Cindy says, "Thank you for pushing through. Thrash, feel better. Good night, all." Thank you. I'm sure I will. Watch me says, thanks, Thrash. Happy Father's Day. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend. Cindy says, Thrash. Ah. John Doe says, never had a dad, John. Commiserations, lad. Commiserations. Feel for you. But anyway, you take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Melissa says, I enjoyed your live stream. Thrash Bondo, happy Father's Day to all. Thank you. Thank you very much. And to you as well. Lisa Field says, my allergies are killing me too. Feel better, Thrash. Oh, I certainly will try. And a lot of people saying sorry for John. And Gary says, well, some kind of wave thing. And a wave to you. And because Christopher was saying hi to Gary. Well, and on that note, I'm going to call it. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I will, if it kills me, I will put out content this week. I'm going to try for 2. To make it for last time, I'm going to try for 2, but there'll be at least 1. There will be another live chat next Sunday, same time, 7:30. But until next week, I want you guys all be good, be safe, be careful. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace. Happy Father's Day.